After checking the tide chart, we made our way out of our cathedral camp and headed north to check out some of Fraser's other attractions. There are about 6 hours between high and low tides, so you should time your run 1 hour either side of high tide. Morning rush hour was on again, and we joined the convoy up the beach despite the weather. Tracks already made in the sand act like a kind of beach train track. If you let go of the steering wheel, you'll see that the car happily follows them. In part 3 of our trip, we spent some time at Indian Head before taking the inland track past Waddy Point and onto Orchid Beach. We travelled to the infamous Gala Rocks crossing. Then a stunning drive northward along Mannon Beach to check out Sandy Cape and Sandy Cape Lighthouse, with a number of impressive sandblows along the way. Indian Head is the most easterly point on the island. Climbing the outcrop provides 360-degree views, as well as good wildlife spotting. Captain Cook named this place when he passed by in 1770 and saw Aboriginal people assembled there. The term Indian was used for native people of many lands at that time. There is usually a lot of activity on the beach track below. Take the Indian Head bypass track to continue north. This track is also notorious for its soft sand, so tyre pressures down are a must. It's also quite bumpy from cars and tourist buses using it. At the other end you'll reach Fraser Island Beach track. This seems to be a hot spot for fishing, and the pelicans don't mind a free feed at all. Not much left of this fella. Following this track north leads you onto Waddy Point bypass along Middle Rocks Road. We found this little guy flat out trying to cross the road. It wasn't us, by the way. This takes us past a nice little freshwater swamp and wildlife area. Stop to take some time to look around. Gala Rocks was next, and although its reputation for bogging cars was worrying us a little, it was a lot easier than expected. The first part is a murky water crossing through coffee rocks with a firm base. Depending on weather and tides, this crossing can be impassable. The exit onto the soft rutted out sand is next. Tyre pressures around 18 psi should do. Keep the momentum up and watch for oncoming traffic. As you travel further north, there are a few campsites tucked away with enviable views. We were escorted by 2 pied oyster catchers clocking in at 36 kilometres an hour. If you take time to stop along the way, climb onto the sand dunes. You will see another side to Fraser Island. The vegetation is slowly being consumed by the large sandblows. We were lucky enough to see birds of prey hunting in amongst the dunes. As we near Sandy Cape, the sand became whiter, the water sparkled emerald green, and the sky was big and blue. Other people had the same idea and set themselves up for the day. As we rounded the corner, we made our way to the most northern part of the island. There are many sandblows on Fraser, but very few come straight down to the sea like Karee and Flinders Blows. These are perfect for the energetic to climb and have a hoot sliding down. The end of the road is at Sandy Cape Lighthouse, which is the most northern part of the island. The track to the lighthouse is steep but very doable. Wooden slats along the way provide traction, especially when coming back down. This is the tallest lighthouse in Queensland and was built in 1870 using materials from Brisbane and cement from Sydney. It must have been some task getting materials off the ships and up to the site of the lighthouse. Back on the beach, we came across this fascinating starfish, no doubt washed up by the recent storm. Keep an eye out for shorebirds and birds of prey. How could we resist having our lunch with a killer view like this? As hard as it was to leave, we still had another stop before heading back to camp. With the weather still on our side, Champagne Pool was looking pretty good for a swim. The inspiration behind the name comes from waves crashing over rocks and forming tiny bubbles and water foam. Just like a glass of champagne. This is one of the only places you can safely swim in seawater. Sit back, relax and enjoy the views looking north towards Waddy Point. We saw lots of dingoes, some in small groups and others on their own. Looking south, we could see a storm brewing. This didn't seem to put off fishermen though. In fact, storms seem to be part of island life. Indicating in this way gives a clear message to pass. Finally, we stopped for our nightly routine of washing sea spray and sand off the car in a freshwater puddle near camp. Part 4 is coming soon.